I'll never forget 75-year-old Margaret Thompson. When she came to me, she had a walker in her hand and despair in her eyes. "Doctor," she said in a broken voice, "I fell for the third time last month. This time my wrist broke. I'm now afraid to leave the house." Margaret's story is the story of thousands of seniors. But the discovery I'll share with you today will show how it completely changed her life, and how it can change yours too. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and I've been an orthopedic specialist for 25 years. What I've observed in the last 3 years is so groundbreaking that it could rewrite medical literature. Because a vitamin you can easily find in pharmacies, one that most of you already have at home, increases bone density so dramatically that when I first saw it, I couldn't believe my eyes. In this video, I'll reveal that vitamin to you. But first, a warning. This information is so powerful that after learning it, you'll want to rush to the pharmacy immediately. Don't be hasty, because the correct usage, dosage, and timing are vitally important. Now you're curious, aren't you? Which vitamin is this? Are you ready to hear how Margaret gave up her walker in 6 months and started taking yoga classes? Then let's begin. But first, tell me in the comments what city you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe so this life-saving information can reach more people. The secret world of bone health. Did you know that your bones are living organs? Yes, you heard correctly. Your bones are constantly renewing themselves, discarding old cells and making new ones. We call this process bone remodeling. When you're young, this process works perfectly. But after age 30, yes, just after 30, bone formation starts to slow down. By the time you reach 50, bone loss accelerates. Especially women can lose 2 to 3% of their bone density each year after menopause. When Margaret came to me, her bone density was 35% below normal levels. The DEXA scan results were terrifying. "Doctor," she said, "they're telling me to take bone medication, but the side effects are so scary. Isn't there another way?" That's when I thought, what if there's a solution in nature, something our body already recognizes, with minimal side effects? And I started researching. Stanford University, Harvard Medical School, Mayo Clinic. I examined dozens of studies, until I found that surprising article. The study published by the National Institutes of Health in 2023 was conducted on 15,000 people over 5 years. The results were incredible. In seniors who regularly took a specific vitamin, fracture risk decreased by 40% and bone density increased by 15%. But the most surprising part was this. This vitamin wasn't exotic at all. In fact, most of you already have it at home. Are you starting to get curious? Because now I'm going to tell you Margaret's transformation story. But first, I need to explain how this vitamin works. The secret of bone regeneration. In your body, there are cells called osteoblasts that build bones. These are like tiny workers that construct bone tissue. There are also cells called osteoclasts that break down bones. These are like a cleaning crew that clears away old, damaged bone tissue. When you're young, these two teams work in perfect harmony. But as age progresses, osteoblasts slow down while osteoclasts continue working at the same pace. The result? Bone loss. This is where that miracle vitamin comes into play. This vitamin reactivates osteoblasts. It's like awakening a sleeping giant. At the same time, it produces special proteins that help calcium stick to bones. But doctor, you might say, isn't taking calcium tablets enough? That's where you're wrong, because calcium can't get to bones by itself. It needs helpers, guides to show it the way. And this vitamin is exactly one of those helpers. Dr. Robert Chen, a bone metabolism specialist from UC Davis, told me, "Sarah, I've been working in this field for 30 years. I've only seen such dramatic results with this vitamin. But which vitamin is this? And why haven't you heard about it before?" Let's return to Margaret's story. When we started her on this vitamin, nothing happened for the first 3 months. "Doctor, it's not working," she said at her third checkup. "Be patient," I said. "Bones are like castles, their construction takes time." At the 6th month, we repeated the DEXA scan. When we saw the results, we were both shocked. But before I tell you the name of this vitamin, I want to get a promise from you. After learning this information, you won't rush to the pharmacy and take it randomly. Because the right dose, right brand, right timing are critical. Do you promise? Vitamin K2. The secret hero of bones. Yes, that vitamin is K2. But don't confuse it. It's not regular vitamin K. Vitamin K2 is a completely different miracle. Most of you know vitamin K1. It's found in green leafy vegetables and helps with blood clotting. But K2? It plays in a completely different league. Vitamin K2 activates special proteins called osteocalcin. These proteins work like GPS, directing calcium to bones. Without K2, calcium gets lost and can even accumulate in your arteries, causing heart disease. Margaret's 6-month results were: bone density increased by 12%, DEXA score improved from -2.8 to -2.1. "This is impossible," said the radiologist. "At this age, bone density doesn't increase, it only decreases." But how did this happen? K2's effect on bones is like this. 1. Calcium navigation. K2 directs calcium to the right place. 2. Protein activation. Activates bone-building proteins. 3. Collagen strengthening. Strengthens the bone matrix. 4. Mineralization. Crystallizes bone tissue. Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue is one of the world's leading experts on K2. In her book, she writes, "K2 is the missing link in bone health. Taking calcium without it is like traveling without a map." I'm eager to see what happened to Margaret at 9 months. But first, I need to tell you where K2 comes from. Because this information can change your life. The secret sources of K2. Vitamin K2 was first discovered by Dr. Weston Price. In the 1930s, he traveled around the world studying healthy populations. What was the common point among alpine shepherds, Scottish fishermen, and African hunter-gatherers? All of them had bones like steel. They had no tooth decay. Fractures were rare. And they all had the same mysterious factor in their diets. Price called this factor activator X. Years later, it was understood that this was vitamin K2. So where is K2 found? Richest sources: natto, Japanese fermented soybeans highest, goose liver, natural K2 balm, hard cheeses, Gouda, cheddar aged, egg yolks, from pasture-raised chickens, butter, from grass-fed cows. But there's a problem. With modern nutrition, we can't get enough of these sources. Our chickens are in cages, our cows in barns. Fermented foods have disappeared from our tables. That's why K2 deficiency has become an epidemic. According to Harvard research, 97% of Americans experience K2 deficiency. When I suggested natto to Margaret, she wrinkled her face. "Doctor, this smells terrible." She was right. Natto isn't an acquired taste. That's when we turned to K2 supplements. But here too, there are things to be careful about. The secret of choosing the right K2. Not all K2 supplements are the same. There are two main forms. MK4, short-acting, should be taken 3 to 4 times daily. MK7, long-acting, once daily is sufficient. Research shows that MK7 is more effective for bone health. I gave Margaret MK7 form, 100 micrograms daily. But be careful, K2 is a fat-soluble vitamin, so it should be taken with food. I recommended Margaret take it after dinner. At 3 months, Margaret said, "Doctor, no change, but I feel more energetic." At 6 months, we saw the bone density increase. At 9 months, Margaret came to the clinic without her walker. "Doctor," she said, her eyes sparkling, "yesterday I ran in the park with my grandson. I couldn't do that for 2 years." Not only bone density, but muscle strength had also increased. K2 was strengthening not just bones, but muscles too. But Margaret's story doesn't end here. The 12-month miracle. Margaret's 1-year results should have entered medical literature. 18% increase in bone density, 60% reduction in fall risk, 25% increase in muscle strength, energy level 3 times her previous state. How is this possible? Asked other doctors. The secret was in K2's multiple effects. Bone effect, osteocalcin activation, muscle effect, increased protein synthesis, energy effect, improved mitochondrial function. Dr. C's Vermeer, the world's leading K2 researcher, says, K2 is not just a vitamin. It's a key that changes quality of life. Margaret is 76 today. She still does yoga, gardens, and even bought a bicycle last month. Dr. Sarah, she says, "This vitamin gave me back my life." Your K2 guide. So how will you start? Here's a step-by-step guide. 1. Consult your doctor. If you're using blood-thinning medication, definitely get medical supervision. 2. Choose the right form. MK7 form, 100 to 200 micrograms daily. 3. Take with fat, with food, preferably in the evening. 4. Be patient. First effects are seen at 3 to 6 months. 5. Combine. More effective with D3 and magnesium. Like Margaret, you too can feel increased energy after 3 months, bone strengthening after 6 months. Other patient stories. Margaret isn't alone. Here are other success stories. James chapter 68. Escaped hip fracture risk. Helen 71. Vertebral collapse stopped. Robert 74. Went skiing for the first time in 5 years. Their common point. Giving K2 a chance. Conclusion. There is hope. Bone loss is not an inevitable consequence of aging. With K2, you can strengthen your bones, overcome fear of falling, and spend your old age actively. Margaret's story is proof of this. She came with a walker at 75, and at 76 she's riding a bicycle. It's your turn. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe. Share your K2 experiences in the comments. Because old age spent with broken bones isn't anyone's right. Old age spent with strong bones and an active life is everyone's right. See you in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay strong.